MMA Meltdown, powered by Zions. Available at your local King Soopers, Loaf and Jug, Jenny's Market, Circle K convenience stores, and 7-Eleven.
All right, we're back. Man, it is crazy. Just sitting here talking fights with fighters. J Merc, our boy Chase Hackett, and the man of the 15 minutes, Josh Cavan, 3-0. What's up, Pimpin'?
How are you guys doing?
Man, just surrounded by good looks today.
I know. Chase was the best looking guy in the building, and then Josh showed up. So.
Put him to shame.
Burn.
It's like Mean Girls over here. Chase is giving him the prison stare.
I still give him the upper hand on the looks here. So
I don't know. He's got the mullet. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing.
he pulls it off well. He got
the bangs, the
He
wavy
said he's
bangs.
still mad from you shoving him in the locker.
Hey, those are back in the Thunder Ridge days.
Oh, Thunder Ridge. So, Josh, man, you come off a fight against Travis Peak that was an all-out war. I mean, if you haven't seen it, search it on YouTube, Travis Peak versus Josh Cavan, and it was a war. I mean, straight war. So for you to come back and have another main event against somebody at the likes of Chris Holland, I mean, it's got to be exciting for you, right?
Oh man, you have no idea how exciting it is. I mean, like I said, I started my career last year doing MMA, and now to see the progression of how things have gone, it's amazing. And I'm honored to be able to be the main event again and to fight someone of Chris's stature.
Now, you talk about Chris's stature, and he'll be the first one to tell you that when he lost that match against Brandon Thatch, he was pretty frustrated with the whole situation. Is there anything you saw, I mean, in that brief amount of time that's going to kind of give you an edge on Chris, do you feel?
Yes and no. I'll leave that to
we're getting it out of you, bro.
No, you ain't getting it out of me.
Chris Holland had an interview.
Oh, I know.
Where he said, everywhere you can go, he's better than you. You're good. You're well-rounded. You're good, well-rounded, but you're not great at anything.
That's great.
Oh, this guy's going to make it difficult. What does the number one mean to Chris Holland and yourself?
What number one? Explain. I'm sorry.
Well, Chris Holland said the number one is going to be very important to you because it's going to be your first loss.
Oh, okay. Great.
Oh, this guy's impossible.
Can't break him.
I know,
Can't break
it's
him. We got
impossible.
10 more minutes though. So.
Yeah, so let's try to get something out of you. So, what's camp been like? I mean, how's it going?
I don't know. Every camp has been stronger and tougher than the last one. I've really focused on a lot of stuff this time around. Just trying to sharpen the tools in every area possible. Every camp, just my fitness, my technique in every discipline, and also my mental toughness as well. Just trying to push myself to whole different levels this time. So. And just like the last time, and every time, going forward, I plan to keep getting better in every area. So,
Chris had some pretty big knockouts over the last year or so on the Ring of Fire stage and on Fight to Win. Now, you think he'll look to keep this a striking battle again, or you think it'll go to the ground?
I know he's a well-rounded fighter. He's got, like you were saying, he's got powerful punches. He's got strong ground and pound. But the thing is I'll be ready for wherever he wants to take it, and whatever we want to do, be ready for it. So
ideally, where would you like it to take place?
Wherever it ends up.
Not giving anything away.
Wherever it ends
Secret
up.
Service over here. Can you hit
I'm just
harder than
excited.
him?
What's that?
Can you punch harder than him?
We'll find out.
Oh, can you kick harder than him? I'm not going to say the gesture, but there was a gesture in a north to south type of direction. And in ground game wise, are you better on the ground?
We'll find out. Like I said, this camp has been a whole different ball game. And I really think it has to do with that Travis Peak fight. I came from a hockey background. MMA was so new to me last year, and just trying to find out who I am and what kind of style I am and whatnot. And this last one, I really kind of found out a lot about myself personally and as a fighter as well. Going to this fight, going to camp, I believe in myself so much more than I ever have before. Just to know that, and like you said, I mean, if you haven't seen that fight, it was a war. It was an absolute war. It's just I found out a lot about myself about that with that fight. So. And
it's not as if you just have that one fight to lay your hat on. I mean, prior to that, you had 2 fights that you ended in the first round. So I mean, it's not as if you're a stranger to victory. Now, you kind of say that you found out a lot about yourself. How much does Team Wildman have on that? Because I mean, I believe it's one of the it's a gym that kind of sets itself apart, just the way that they act personally.
Man, in previous interviews, I just was talking about how I tried to become successful in hockey, and my dreams are kind of crushed in that way. But the thing is that, that door closed, but this, I was so blessed and lucky to be able to come across those guys that one day. It's changed my whole entire life. I mean, it's just the whole, and the short answer is, yeah, I mean, it's been a huge, huge, huge change in my life. They've made me stronger mentally, physically, as a person and as a fighter as well. And, they continue to do so.
Chris, Chris. Jesus.
Oh, my God.
Who is that?
Punch him in the face right now. I just want to see you punch him in the face.
That's all part of the plan to get him angry.
And you say, hey, I may not be able to say names
they're
right.
trying to push my buttons over here.
I may not be able to pronounce names right, but at least I say the right name. I may not say it right, but I get the right name. Josh.
Anyway,
is the name you were looking
Josh.
for.
Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, you look like
Touché.
a Steve. That's your nickname. Jared Steve Mercado.
All right, you mentioned your hockey background. Obviously, you're
Yeah.
a great hockey player. Is there anything you think benefits you in terms of physically from the hockey?
Oh yeah, definitely, and not only physically, because it's a different game though. In hockey, you're going out there for a minute, you're giving everything you can, then you have 2-3 minutes to sit down and recover, whatnot. With MMA, it's you're going for 5 minutes, you get one off, so it's a kind of a flip flop. But I think the biggest thing it's taught me, playing sports, hockey, track, soccer, all the above, is just to be able to listen to your coach and adapt. And, that's why I think with, Thomas Denny and our relationship, he's an extremely hard coach. But the thing is that I just do what I'm told and it works. So
Now,
Absolutely.
go
I
ahead,
was gonna
Jared.
say,
it's transitioned really well. That's just.
Yeah, I was going to say hockey players are a little crazy, too. I mean, they get hit in the face with a puck, 10 teeth go missing, they take them off the ice, and a
Sticks
minute later
and
they're back
blades
on
and
there.
yeah.
I want to see you come out at the beginning of the fight and pretend to throw your
Throw
gloves
the gloves
off.
down,
Yeah.
take the helmet off.
Circle him a little bit. But I forgot what I was going to say because J. Merck interrupted me.
Trying to hog the attention.
Man, he break my heart.
He was
sometimes.
looking me in the eyes. I got a little lost. I just wanted to keep the conversation going.
The Jared Show.
He tries to rely on his eyes a little bit, way too much. Well, I don't know, this crazy guy. But coming into this fight against Chris Holland, and again, I can respect you not wanting to say that you're better than him, say that in any real fashion. I mean, just like we were asking Chase here, it's so young in your career, and when you have guys who come from a certain discipline like wrestling or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you don't necessarily see them taking instructions from their corner. I mean, you kind of hear the corner yelling the same thing.
Easy.
I'm talking specifically about you, Jared. But with you coming into it, and again 3-0, is it pretty easy for you to adapt to what your corner's saying during the fight? I mean, do you hear everything?
No, not everything. It is easy to adapt when I can actually hear my coach, but when the crowd is ridiculously loud, you gotta just do what you're taught and kind of read and believe in yourself. In that sense.
Yeah, I wanted to go through just like your mental thoughts during that fight with Travis. I mean, obviously you got cut open pretty good, lots of blood, and he's a big, strong wrestler.
Yeah.
Was continuing to take you down a lot in that first round. What's going on? Is it hard to stay composed, or how did you kind of gather yourself?
And the thing about that fight is, and I've talked to Brian Baker, is one of my training partners.
Right.
He's actually fighting tonight on MTV2 in the Bellator tournament.
Yeah.
Don't forget to tune in and watch.
Nice plug.
Nice.
But I was talking to him, and we were actually talking about his last loss against Alexander Shlemenko, and he mentioned to me when he just felt flat going into that fight, and that's exactly how I felt. Main event, so many people, and for some reason I just felt flat, and I was trying to get myself pumped up, and I've had it in hockey, but the thing is that when you're having an off day, you can sit down and, hey, coach, let the other guys skate for them. You got to just suck it up and keep going. So, to be able to just go in there, kind of feel flat, and that, getting hit like that a couple times actually kind of woke me up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I got the gears going. So
From an outside perspective, it didn't look like you were flat, though, because, I mean, your cardio was insane. I mean, I think that's what really paid off for you was the fact that you kept pushing that pace. Even when he took you down, kept scrambling, kept getting back to your feet, and that really paid off, I feel like.
For sure.
It was nice to see a fight going the distance like that and just seeing the fighters go all out. A lot of the time when they're exhausted, and it's not really their fault because, I mean, that's a draining activity, fighting. But for you guys to, keep going at that pace, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Are you prepared for a fight like that again?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, going back to the previous fights, they ended in the first round. So it's like, everyone said they want to take me to deep water. They wanted to see how I do. And, I'm glad it got down to that level, that deep into the fight with what I think it was 30 seconds left. That just shows that all the training, it's there, ready for anything. So.
Yeah, you talked about, you're still pretty new in this sport. I mean, it's only been a year or so since you've been fighting. Talk to us a little about those progressions of the skills. What was the easiest for you to pick up on, and what was a little bit more difficult? And
the easiest part was just for me was just to show up to these practices. Like I said, I was trying to go pro for so long, and all of a sudden I get my chance in something different, a different venue. The hardest part was still showing up, just because when we train hard. I mean, Chino and Brian, Marcus, all those guys. When I was so fresh, and I go to work. I have a full-time job in finance, and I wear a suit and tie, and I'm showing up like I'm just came out of the movie Fight Club with a black eye, and so yeah, it's.
Are your bosses supportive of the fight career?
At first they kind of thought it was just they are now. For sure.
You won them over.
Yeah,
definitely. Do they support you, or do they kind of take the stance, wow, this guy might punch me in the face or choke me out?
I have to be
so
supportive.
I think it's a little bit of both, So when we have one-on-one interviews, I'll say, it's my time. But no, they're really supportive. I have actually one of the wholesalers who covers Colorado in our company. He actually brings some of his clients to the fights. They bought like 3 VIP tables, and so they use it to their advantage too. And it's great. It really helps things go smoothly when you don't have that stress and that they support you.
Was there any stress of having to win there? Like, don't make us look bad in front of
there's always that's what I'm biggest.
Nice.
We're gonna lose this deal if you lose.
You're fired.
Enjoy the unemployment there, buddy. No, that's my biggest fear is just the fear of failure, fear of letting people down. It's not necessarily the opponent, but just going in there, even though I know that I give everything I can every day. But just the fear of, these people are spending their hard-earned money in not a very good environment economy right now. And, they're supporting me, going on their way to, give their support to me. And, that's my biggest fear is letting them down.
For sure.
It's a tough economy. And, listeners, if you're tuned in right now, and you must be tuned in because you're hearing my voice right now, give us a call here in a little bit. We'll give away a pair of zombie tickets because you're listening to the MMA Meltdown show here on Mile High Sports Radio, AM 1510. The number to call in is 303-297-1510. Josh, really, how realistic is a rematch against Peak?
Oh, I don't know. I have no clue who my opponents are. My coach Thomas texts me, "You're fighting this day against this guy." So.
Would you be willing for a rematch?
We'll see.
No.
I'm focused on this fight right now, so we'll.
I want to play a little hypothetical with you. Let's say 2 years from now, 10-11-0, get a UFC contract. Is there ever a point where you feel like you'd have to decide between your job and finance and devoting full time, if you get up
that's
to
my
that
goal.
level?
They know it's my goal at work to do this full time.
Okay.
So they're supportive of it. They want to see me. They're like, we want to. You work hard for us. We'll help you out for now, and when it's time, it's time. So
nice.
They want
to. It's a real rough situation, especially at this level because we're not Zuffa type of contracts yet at this point.
Mm-hmm.
How tough is the decision to go to work every day? Obviously you like your job. We've heard you say nothing but good things about it. But do you see guys around you that are kind of making the transition into fighter full time and it's just not working out for them?
It's very hard to, because I work at 6 o'clock in the morning every day. So it's like I get punched in the face for 3 hours every day. Right after work, wake up at 5 o'clock and go to work. And it's just, it's a struggle. It's hard. That's probably the hardest thing is just to keep your eye on the prize, stay focused and just show up to work, suck it up, go to train, and it's just like, people ask, what do you like to do on your free time? Well, it's like, what free time? Take a nap here and there, yeah.
Your lady friend is smiling in the back. I feel like she's definitely agreeing with you there. No,
yeah.
No free time.
Very patient.
I thought it was strange you arrived in the back seat and she was driving.
We were actually on a motorcycle. I was on the back.
30 miles to the gallon on this bad boy.
It's a moped, yeah.
That's awesome. So coming into the fight, do you have any sponsors, teammates?
Yeah.
That's my fault, Chase. I should ask you the same question. We'll give you that opportunity here in a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. First and foremost, I just want to thank God, just for giving me the ability to do what I love to do. Wolf Auto, Flyline Energy Drink, Tilt-A-Rack, Disciple Wear, Red Rocks Church, Ugly Ear, Fight Gear, MMA Premier Fitness, everyone on Team Wildman. I'd like to thank Seth Daniels at Fight to Win, and also just a reminder, Brian's fight tonight on MTV2.
Look at him. Plugging the promoter, bro. You're trying to get
That's
another
my boy.
fight already.
That's
Dude,
my boy.
Look at you going at it. And I like to see that. I like to see those lists because that means the fighters
prepared.
There,
He's
there's
a
there's
sharp
value.
guy.
People are
Yeah.
seeing the value in MMA and
Yeah.
the fighters for
Right.
that.
For
So
sure.
that's-
I also want to thank you guys too for having me in.
Oh,
so.
of
No,
course.
not a problem. I had to talk Jay Merck into it. He didn't really want to bring you on, so I had to,
Gotta
kind
get
of
that brown on the
Yeah.
nose now.
coerce him into letting you come on. But it's going to be an awesome show. Again, it's the Zombies card. How can people purchase tickets from you?
They can contact me through Facebook. It's Josh Cavan. Just send me a message. I'll have tickets available probably till next Wednesday or so. So
Can they stop by the gym and grab them?
yeah, they can stop by MMA Premier Fitness as well. But the best is just to send me a message, and we'll do it through there. So
All right. Well, again, you're listening to the MMA Meltdown radio show here on Mile High Sports AM 1510. We are Mile High Sports.